What is up, and welcome back to another episode of Blood and Beer, the show where we talk blood sport and we drink beer. I'm your host, Matt, and as always, we've got some MMA to talk. Today, we're breaking down UFC Fight Night Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. We got a pick'em show for you. Brandon Moreno taking on Amir Albazi. We also got former champ Rose Namajunas versus rising star Aaron Blanchfield. We're going to get into all of it in just a moment. First, the beer we're sipping on, keeping it casual for a Monday night football, Monday night pick'ems on the MMA world, baby. Monday Night MMA. That's what I need to do next. Bud Light, though. We're keeping it simple. Official beer of the UFC. And that's what we're breaking down today. So this card's pretty stacked for a fight night, honestly. You might think it's top heavy. Fights are really good matchups, good stylistic matchups. We're going to start it off with Jack Shore. I hope you could hear all of what I was saying with my mic up like that. Goodness gracious. So UFC Fight Night, if you couldn't, Moreno versus Albazi, Blanchfield versus Rose Namajunas, down 335 year to date. Sorry if it did work, I just wanted to make sure. But we got Jack Shore in the opening bout taking on Youssef Zalal, and Jack Shore's a plus 200 dog. Youssef Zalal coming back minus 245, and Jack Shore's had a bit of a rough go recently. He, since moving up to 145, he can't use the power that he had at 135 to hold people down and just jiu-jitsu the fuck out of them. 145, he's got to be a lot more technical, and he hasn't been able to do that really since moving up. He got stopped by Joe Anderson Brito, I think. But he's going to be taking on Youssef Zalal, who's a super strong wrestler, good striker. He's quick, but his wrestling's kind of suffocating. And that's the problem that Jack Shore is going to be presented in this fight. He might be able to find a leg lock, but Zalal has such just strong wrestling. He shoots that double leg, switches to a single if he needs to, and then he just knows how to chain wrestle from there. And he's got good submissions. Got to go with Youssef Zalal. And I didn't even go over the rules for new watchers. On these pick'em shows, we put 1,000 up, split it any way we want. Today's pretty much 100 down the line. But we got Jack Shore losing to Youssef Zalal. So Zalal has a minus 245 dog. $100 pays you 150 out. And next up, we got Chad Anhelinger taking on Cody Gibson, minus 190 favorite for Cody Gibson. Chad Anhelinger, plus 160 coming back. And Anhelinger's a fucking warrior. This dude loves to bring the fight, make it a fight. He has a weakness with submissions. He gets caught in submissions a lot when he shoots takedowns, but he likes a bloody, grimy fight where he's in your face. And he's fighting in his hometown, in Canada. Where else more perfect to do this than his home country? Taking on Cody Gibson, a tall fighter. He's got a good guillotine. He's got a really good jab. He stays at range really well. They're both 37 years old. I don't like that. One of them's going to fall off the cliff pretty soon. And I think Anhelinger is probably going to get caught in a guillotine in this, but I'm not confident in either of these fighters. Super not confident betting any Cody Gibson fight. So I'm going to stay out of this, but I would say if I'm a guessing man, which I am because I'm a betting man, I'd put it on Cody Gibson by submission. Guillotine probably, because he's just got those long arms and he locks you up when you shoot the takedowns. But next up, we got Garrett Armfield taking on Sari Saidi. And Armfield plus 130, Saidi minus 155 coming back. And Saidi's a tall, lengthy striker. He's got really good front kicks. His 1-2 combo, his jab right-hand combo is nasty. He lands it pretty much every time he throws. He seems to gas a little bit, and he seems to be kind of coasting in some of his fights, but when he's landing his strikes, they're just on the money. He's very accurate with them. And then you got Garrett Armfield coming back. Gotta plug my computer in or it'll die one moment. But Garrett Armfield coming back. This dude's a fucking beast. He's a warrior, just like Anhelinger. Loves to make it a fight. Loves to make it a war. I don't know if he's going to be enough for this. And I've been picking dogs too much lately. I don't think he's going to be able to deal with Saidi's range. And Saidi's never gotten a knockout. Or not that. Garrett Armfield's never been knocked out. But Saidi could be the guy to do it because he's going to catch Armfield blitzing in, trying to get a blitz attack. And I just think that matches up very well for Saidi's style. So with that being said, we're going to put 100 on Sari Saidi. That wins us 165. And then next up, we got Alexander Romanov versus Rodrigo Nascimento. Now, Alexander Romanov, he was supposed to be the next big thing. He came into the heavyweight division, finishing people left and right, submission, suffocating ground game. Turns out he's got a bad gas tank. If you can stop the first two takedown attempts, he's done. He's got nothing for you. And Nascimento, he's a big grappler also, so he's going to know how to stuff those takedowns or how to let Romanov bleed his gas tank out while they're on the ground. I don't have a good feel for this, though, because Nascimento, he's coming off a knockout from Derek Lewis, and I know Romanov's not a power puncher, but at heavyweight, you never know. I don't have a good feel for this at all, because Romanov could tap him early, but if he doesn't, be ready. After that second takedown misses, and Romanov put the house on Nascimento, but until you see that, I'd stay away from this card. Goodness, I'm off camera left and right. I'm all over the place. But yeah, stay away from this until you see what happens on those first 2 takedown attempts from Romanov. Next up, we got Charles Air Jourdain. He's taking on Victor Henry, both minus 110. Jourdain's coming off a nasty knockout loss from John Silva, but that doesn't mean anything because John Silva rocks everybody's fucking world. And Victor Henry, dude's a beast. He got signed short notice. He's been around forever. Energizer Bunny is what I like to call this guy. He's always in your face, throwing just punch into the takedown, punch into the clinch, punch into the cage control. He knows how to fight. He knows how to win, and he's wearing his opponents down every time he fights. He's so active in there. But with Charles Jourdain, this dude's striking super accurate from range. He's a warrior. He loves getting hit because when you hit him and it's not a knockout shot, he's just like, yeah, come on, let's go. And it brings him into the fight more. I got Charles Jourdain in this. I've been getting killed by picking my favorites, but I think he gets a bounce back win, probably by decision, but goodness gracious. Charles Jourdain, $100 wins you 190. And that brings us to Amin Zahabi. He's taking on Pedro Munoz. Plus 110 for Zahabi, minus 130 for Pedro Munoz. Zahabi's got good power, good striking, and his defense is really good. He keeps a high guard, and when he doesn't have the high guard, he's got good head movement. Pedro Munoz, he's fallen in love with his boxing. For a grappler, this dude only boxes anymore. He throws leg kicks every now and then, but really not much. I think he's over the hill. I think he's kind of disinterested in the sport at this point. He hasn't looked great lately. I got Zahabi just because I think Zahabi's going to get ahead early, and Pedro Munoz is going to have to be playing catch-up the whole fight. I just don't see him doing that. I don't see him having that gear to kick in to say, I'm going to win this or I'm going to put you out. So we're going to put 100 on the dog in this one. Zahabi, 100 wins you 210. All right, and that brings us to our main card. We got Mike Malott, minus 250 favorite, taking on Trevin Giles, plus 205. And Trevin Giles just doesn't seem to know how to win. Mike Malott's a beast. He got showed up in the last couple seconds of his Neil Magny fight where he was beating him to death almost until he completely gassed out and Neil Magny gets the finish at the very end. But I think it's going to be a pretty easy fight for Mike Malott. He's on home soil. I know he lost last time on home soil, but this time I think he's going to be fighting a lot smarter. I think he's going to get a unanimous decision win over Giles. $100 wins you 140, so that's half of our money right there. Next up, we got Marc-Andre Barriault. He's taking on Dustin Stoltzfus, and Barriault minus 200, plus 165 for Stoltzfus coming back, and I really like Barriault in this one. He's coming off a loss to Joe Pfeiffer, but both these guys are strikers, and Barriault's just a fucking madman in there. Dude swings not wide shots, real close in the pocket, real just fucking phone booth shots. He picks you apart. It's going to be a problem for the Muay Thai style of Stoltzfus. And at range, he's got a really good jab. He can pop you with the 1-2. He can hit you with the hook from outside, and he's always moving forward, gives you no time to breathe. I just think Barriault's going to be able to walk him down this fight and he might get the finish, but definitely get the win. I got 100 on Barriault, gets us 150 back. I had to adjust those glasses because what the fuck are these odds? Derek the Black Beast Lewis. He's taking on Janata Diniz. And Lewis is a plus 140 dog, minus 170 for Janata Diniz. Absolutely nuts. Diniz, he's going to have his hands full in this. He had his hands full with Carl Williams. He doesn't have one-punch knockout power. He has decent combinations, but he's really patient. He doesn't like to throw first. He doesn't like to move forward because he's not very fast. He doesn't have a move that can start the action. And Derek Lewis, we know what he is. He's kind of the same thing. Patient, doesn't like to start the motion, doesn't like to start the thing, but he likes to finish it. And I think Janata D is just going to get absolutely slept as soon as they as soon as they go into the pocket, we're going to see a shot that like comes from here to here off Derek Lewis, and it's going to put him down, and we're not going to know how. He's just going to do it. Derek Lewis is going to extend his knockout record in the UFC and get a finish over this two-fight veteran in the UFC and Jonathan Diaz. I know I've been picking on myself for picking on dogs lately, but we're going with it this time. We got 150 on Derek the Black Beast Lewis, gets us 360 back. Big wins there because we're getting it. He did it to Nascimento. He did it to Rodrigo de Lima. I mean, dude's going to do it again. And then we got the co-main event of the evening. Erin Blanchfield taking on former strawweight champion Thug Rose Namajunas. And fight's a tough one for Rose. Blanchfield has really powerful wrestling, really strong grappling. Her top control is second to none. She looks for submissions all over the place. And I know Namajunas, BJJ first, she's got great BJJ, and she's going to have the striking advantage. But since she's moved up to 125, she does not look as strong as these girls. She's not able to kind of manhandle them and just impose her presence the way she was at 115. I don't know how she's going to handle Blanchfield. I think Blanchfield's probably going to get a decision. Maybe 29-28 all across the board. Maybe a split. But I think she's going to out-wrestle her, land some ground and pound. Nothing major, but control win. Erin Blanchfield looking to bounce back from that loss to Manon Fiorot. So that's what we got up until the main event. Oh, and by the way, we're putting 150 on Erin Blanchfield at a minus 125 odds to win 270. So there's 900 of our bucks out there. And you know what that last 100's going towards? It's going towards the Amir Albazi versus Brandon Moreno fight. Moreno, dude's great everywhere. Former champ, just like Namajunas at 125, though. And his chin, second to none at the weight class. He's got good submissions. His boxing is absolutely technically perfect as far as the 1, the 2, the 3. Defense leaves some to be admired, but the chin makes up for it. But I don't know how he's going to deal for 5 rounds with the takedown attempts of Amir Albazi. Albazi reminds me of a shorter Bilal. He'll strike to get to where he wants you to be, and he'll hold you on the cage if he knows he's winning the round. He'll take you down, and he just works for position over submission, position over submission, position over submission. The guy's a finisher, though. He's got quite a bit of finishes. No losses in the UFC. Should have lost to Kai Kara France, I'll give him that, but Kai Kara France is different than Brandon Moreno. Moreno is not as powerful as Kai Kara France. It's a style, it's a fight of, it's a game of matchups. It's not a game of, MMA math. So Brandon Moreno beats Kai Kara France by a liver kick. Kai Kara France probably should have got the decision over Amir Albazi just for beating the shit out of him. But I don't think Brandon Moreno's got that pop on his punches to make Albazi respect him and keep him from taking him down. And Albazi's tough. I know he's coming off a neck injury, so that's why we're only doing 100 on this one. That's why we allocated everything the way that we did. But I like Albazi in this. I think he's going to get an ugly decision, 48-47, maybe 49-46. But give me 100 on the plus 130 dog in Amir Albazi. And that's all 1,000 of our bets. So we're going to run through that again for you. Not the breakdowns, of course, just what our bets are. We got 100 on Amir Albazi. We got 150 on Erin Blanchfield. We got 150 on Derek the Black Beast Lewis. We got 100 on Marc-Andre Barriot. 100 on Mike Malott. 100 on Amin Zahabi. 100 on Charles Air Jourdain. 100 on Serhii Saidi. And 100 on, what's his first gosh darn name again? Yusuf Zalal. So 100 on most everybody but the featured fight in the co-main. So that's what we got for you today. I ain't got nothing left for you. Might have another episode this week. I doubt it, but thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the support. We're so close to 100 subscribers. Literally one away. We're doing a giveaway when we hit 100. But let me know what you think. What's your locks of the week? What do you think of my picks? Am I dumb for these takes? Am I a genius? Whatever you do, don't put in a parlay. 80% of money goes to parlays. For these sports books, don't fucking do it. That's how they make their buck. That's how they make their nut. Thank you for watching Blood and Beer. This has been Matt. I'm just fucking rambling, ranting, and raving. Let's go.